Okay, so good morning, guys. So welcome back. So we are going to continue with our Jenkins session. So today is Jenkins day 4 session, and the date is 4th of October 2024, and the timing is morning 9:06 a.m. IST. Guys, in yesterday's session, that is in yesterday night, we took a day 3 session, right? So we saw few of the things, right? How we made a what we understood, like we understood about the freestyle project, and under the freestyle we created some of the jobs under the freestyle projects. We created certain projects, right, under the freestyle. And always freestyle is a classical way of creating a job, actually, right? So this was a classical way, means this was a first most way of creating a project was done in Jenkins. Before that, your declarative pipeline or scripted was not there, actually, at the very beginning. Later, these are the other ways which they added it. But the first important, or the first way, which was a classic way, which was a freestyle project. So that's what we call it as a classical way. So what we learned yesterday we learned about few things about what exactly is the Jenkins configuration. So two of the important things, one is a job and other is a workspace. This is what we learned. And we know very well that the default Jenkins workspace is /var lib Jenkins. Under this, you will find so many configuration files. And we went through certain things like what is workspace and project jobs folders, right? Yesterday in our session. So yesterday we stopped it very early because we saw our server was down very slow, and we are not able to execute any kind of a job in a very faster way. That's what, like, we stopped the session. But today we are going to explore more things, and I even checked it out, because I need to use always t2.medium. So t2.medium is an instance type which you have to always use, and then you need to create a Jenkins server. So no doubt it will be this t2.medium is payable. It means that you need to pay the money. So per hour you need to pay 4 rupees, right? But still, what happened, I will still prefer you to go with the going to the t2.medium only. You can even do to 32.micro also, but it will be dead slow. Yesterday you saw, right? So it was a dead slow. That's what you don't have to face such issue. Means please go with a t2.medium instance type whenever you install Jenkins server. And whenever you work on it, work for 2-3 hours, so that your bill be like 12 rupees or 16 rupees or whatever might be, and then, like, you can terminate the instance. So guys, how you have to learn means, first what you have to do means, first you need to go through before launching. Don't launch the server and just keep it idle, or don't launch and then you watch the video. First, what you have to do is, you have to first watch the video. Watch all the videos completely, understand what exactly the essence of the whole video, like 1 or 1.5 hour video. Understand it, make a note of it. Make a note of it. If you require, you watch it again, repeat it one more time, so that the next time when you are listening to the video, now you are very, very seriously understanding everything. First time, maybe in a casual way, you just watch the video, and the second time when you are watching the video, you should be very, very serious in understanding, or understanding all the things whatever it has been taught in that video. Once you learn, once you understand in the second time, then you please make a note of it. Now what happened, once you understood, okay, Rajesh has executed some 2 to 3 examples in that video, or I have watched last 2 videos. In last 2 videos, he has executed some 4 examples, right? You have noted down. Now what happened, you have to close that video, and you have to launch the instance, and then install the Jenkins, do all the setup, and then you execute all those examples, whatever I executed. So in that way, what happened, right? You are saving a time within short duration, within 1 or 2 hours, you will be able to finish your example. Also, it means that you will be doing your hands-on, you will be finishing it. Don't think that, okay, Rajesh, let me launch first instance and then, like, I watch the video. Unnecessarily, you will spending a lot of time in watching the videos only, and then, like, finally you'll see that the server is up and running from last 5 hours, and you're not used a single time also, you're not used at all. Unnecessarily, you will be involved in giving a lot of amount, right? Don't do that. First, watch the video once or twice, digest the content, and now you feel that, okay, now I have to do the practicals. Now, while doing practicals, I've been keep telling many times that don't watch the video and do the same thing as I'm doing. Don't do that, right? Because you are not learning, you're copying it. So what I have to do that, without watching the video, you need to do the practical. Suppose in case somewhere you missed it out, you're not able to, then you can watch the video. I'm not saying don't watch it. You can watch the video, but please make sure that you have understood the whole concept very well. You have a confidence that you can execute that example, and then only go ahead with executing that example. Or else write a notes of everything, and then you can watch your notes and you can do the practicals. Is it clear, guys? Do you agree with this statement, what I said so far? Any doubts you have about this? Dan, Ashish, Ganesh?
Oh, good.
That is how you have to do it actually. Dan, I will come to you, Dan. As I discussed yesterday, Dan. So Dan is asking a question that Rajesh, do you have a plan to take session twice daily, especially with the Jenkins? Yes, Dan. Yesterday I discussed it, not daily. I said in yesterday's session that at least 3 weeks from next week, at least 3 days in morning time I'm going to take. Say, for example, Monday I will take, Wednesday I will take, and Friday I will take. Right? If one session is missing because of my busy schedule, I might say, okay, I'll not be able to take that session. But evening time, almost all 5 days, I'll be taking a session. So why we are doing that again? Because that we need to complete this in a very faster way. That's all. That's the only thing. Clear. So now, okay, guys, thank you. Then let us move ahead now. So yesterday we saw that we try to understand, and you know that yesterday we made this Jenkins user as a sudo user. Right, so it means that it has to get like root privileges, all kind of root privileges permission you need to provide. So that's the reason you need to make it as a sudo user. So you have to run a command known as sudo vi sudo. This is the one way of doing it. There are 2 to 3 different ways are there where you can make any user as a sudo user. So one among the step is sudo vi space sudo. If you execute this command, it's going to open a sudo's file. There you can go and add this line into that file and save and quit from that file. And after this, what is happening that your Jenkins user will become a sudo's user. So yesterday you saw that when I logged into this server, copy with the public IP. I will go over here and I'll log into this server. Paste this IP, appearance, change. I'll just make it 16 and then like expand SSH, expand the auth credentials, go to the browse, give this Jenkins.ppk file. By this time, guys, I think you already know how to log into the server and everything, right? So there should not be any confusion in this actually. So you have logged into the Ubuntu user. Now, if you do a switch to the Jenkins, it is not asking any password at all. If you are trying to run sudo apt update, you could see that it is not asking the password at all. It is executing. Why it is executing? Because that in this line, you see that you have added this string no passwd. If you don't add it, it will keep asking you the Jenkins password. Because you have added this string, that's the reason it is not asking you any password at all. Is it clear? Right? So that's the reason we should always use this. And these things, whatever you're seeing, these things, the same concept. It means that here in this case, in case of a Jenkins, what we did, right? We created already there's a user by name Jenkins, and we added this Jenkins under this sudo's file so that it can have all kind of a sudo permission. Tomorrow, what we will do that when we are trying to learn Ansible, what we're going to do that we're going to create a user, something. We're going to create a user by name something. I'll just say Ansible admin. Right. I'll be creating this Ansible admin as a user in Ansible. When I'm teaching the Ansible, you will see that I'll be creating 3 servers. In the 3 servers, what I will do that I will be creating this user by name Ansible admin. So one server I'll be calling as a master node or called as Ansible node or Ansible server, and the other 2 server I'll be making it as a server or just a node. In all these 3 servers, right, I will be creating this user Ansible admin. Then what happened, right? We need to give this Ansible admin user as a sudo's permission, or you need to make it as a sudo's. Then what I will do, I'll do the same thing. Sudo vi sudo, like that I will do. Like that, I will open this file, and at the end of the file, I will go to add the string. What is that string, guys? I'm going to add this string. Same thing, I'm going to add this string. But this time, instead of Jenkins, you have to give the name as Ansible admin. Like this. Did you understood? It means that Rajesh, whenever you want to make any user or you have to provide any sudo's permission to that specific user, you have to always execute this command under the Ubuntu, because this is in the Ubuntu you're doing, and you need to copy the line like this. You need to copy that same format like this. And here also, we're adding this no passwd : all. So when you see Ansible, we'll be doing that. Wherever you want to make it as a passwordless communication with the specific user ID, then we will be following this step. Is it clear, guys? So I think that the doubt is clear, right? If somebody had that doubt, it has been cleared now. Okay, good. So that's what yesterday we did it. Now, what we're going to do today, we are going to explore many other things today. We will be exploring a lot of things in today's session, exploring on Jenkins many more. Right now, yesterday we try to understand that we have something as a workspace. So if you go to the server and if you see that, if you do an ls-l or just ls, you'll see there is something like a workspace. So yesterday what we understood in the workspace, so whenever you want to clone any project, right? So where exactly be cloned? It will be cloned under the workspace directory, right? Whenever you are trying to create any kind of a job, when you're executing any job, as part of the execution of the job, if it creates any file, where that file will be stored, the file will be stored in a workspace. So workspace is something like a storage area, or it's a storage, it's a folder where, or it's a directory where all your files are getting stored. A cloned file, or it's even like when you are creating any file, or you're creating any something with the execution of a job, right? Whatever the file will get created, that will be stored in the workspace, right? So now today, what we're going to learn, guys, we are going to do some more exploring. So let me do one thing. Let me go and let me copy this IP address and go over here. And you know that you have to give the IP address and colon 8080, right? And enter. It's going to launch your Jenkins URI. So I'll just give the username admin and the admin at the rate 123. Okay, so you know that this is the only one job which I have today, right? Now what I'll do that, let me try to learn certain other things. Okay, let me launch one more project, right? I'll say new item and I'll just give something exploring Jenkins, something I'll give. Okay, I will create as a free shell project. Okay, and come over here. You could see that, guys, that if you give this and if you give you have so many items you have. So for example, free shell project is there, pipeline is there, multi-configuration project, folder is there, multi-branch is there, organization is there, like that. So you are getting some free item types. Actually, we will be seeing all these things in some time. Don't worry. As of now, I'm only learning about the free shell project. So click on the free shell project, come down, I'll just say okay. So I'm creating a new thing. Okay. Here, what I will do that, let me do one thing. Yesterday, I told you that, okay, I have something known as a, what is it? There is a project by name. There are a lot of open source projects are there. There are a lot of open source projects available. So for example, we have a project by name Game of Life. Game of Life. So this is a simple project and the technology is Java. It means that the language, what this project is all about, is written in Java language. And if you have a Git URL, so how to get a Git URL? So you can go to the net and you can just say Game of Life, GitHub. If you click on this, you could see that this is what you'll get the link. Click on this GitHub link and you could see that you have to just highlight this code and copy this GitHub URL, come over here and paste it. This is the URL actually. Now, whenever you want to clone, whenever you want to copy this project, actually, what you have to do means you have to run a command git clone and give the URL. Right? So what we're going to do that as part of exploring, what I will do is that simply I will try to create a job now. So what I will do that I'm going to create a job. So this project, I'm just giving a description here. See, under the general category, I'm just giving the first description. So this project is used to understand Jenkins something freestyle project something. Okay. Now what I will do that I will not do anything, guys. What I will do that I will come over down. I will not do anything. What I will do, I'll go to the build step here. I'll just try to select this execute shell, right? And then like I will do the same thing, git clone, and I will give this URL. Let me see whether this command git clone will execute or not, right? So come down here, I'll just say apply and save it, right? And what I will do here, I'm going to just say build now. Right. So you could see that the job has executed, the job has triggered, and it has even successfully executed also. And it is showing as a success. So if you click on here, you could see that actually it has cloned it and it is cloning it. And finally, you could see there's something like a finish success. So guys, whenever you see any kind of a job execution, and at the end of the job execution, you will always see the string as a success. Whenever the Jenkins see the string success, it identifies that the job has executed successfully, and it will always turn into green color. You could see that it will show as a green color. So this is a default thing. Like whenever you see something like a green tick color, it means that it's a success. Whenever you see the red color like cross section, it means that it's a failure. So whenever it sees the string as a failure, failure, right, then the Jenkins understand that the job has failed. Now, as part of the cloning has been done. Now it means that you have cloned, you have copied it, but where exactly it will copy it, right? It will be copying under your workspace, right? Because whenever you git any project or whenever you click git, you do any kind of clone of any repository. So this will be placed under workspace. And yesterday you saw, right, that one, right? Shall we go to the server and check it whether it is cloned or not? Yeah. Let us go to the workspace. ls, you see that you have been having something like exploring Jenkins. ls, can you see that game of life has been downloaded? If you go to the game of life, enter and say ls, can you see this? If you do an ls-l, can you see this is the folder? You could see that game of life core is there. Okay, this is one project. Game of life deploy is there. So if you go over here and if you go to this repository, can you see here? This repository has all these things: game of life core, game of deploy, game of life web, .git ignore. All these files have been cloned over here, right? All these files have been cloned over here. So what I did here, guys, with just a simple job, actually, I was able to clone it. So initially what I did here under this exploring project, I went to the configure, and under that, with help of a simple shell execute, I have given this command and it is able to do it actually. Now the question comes, Rajesh, how the Git is working, whether the Git is installed in the server. Yes, Git is installed in the server. But while installing the Jenkins, we never install the Git, right, actually, right? So what has happened means, right, if you do a git -f version, you could see that the Git is installed actually. So as part of executing or as part of installation of the Jenkins, it has even installed even the Git also. So while installing Jenkins in turn, it has even installed the Jenkins also, right? And you could see that while installing the Jenkins and when you're configuring through UI, at one place, what happened, it says that, okay, you have to go and install the plugins. If you go and select the installed plugin you do, right, what it has happened, even it has installed the Git plugin also. So Git plugin also got installed. So what is this plugin? We will be coming very soon, guys. After 1 or 2 sessions, I'll be coming across with the plugins. Right? There are so many plugins are there in Jenkins where you'll be using that plugins to make our life easy. So, but here what happened? Few of the plugins got installed at the very initial stage when you're configuring Jenkins. So one among them is a Git plugin. Now, say for example, you say that, Rajesh, I want to clone one more project. So these are all the open source project, guys. So for example, the second project is something like a Spring Pet Clinic. This is also a Java-based project. All these are Java-based project, right? But it uses the Spring Boot framework. Along with the Java, it also uses the Spring Boot framework. Yeah, Daniel, you have any question?
Yes, sir. So you clone the game of life to show us how to clone. Is that a real purpose? And that it gets stored in the workspace? Is that the real purpose of, like that 5 minutes?
Yes, I just want to show when you're cloning it, whenever you're cloning or whenever you are as part of execution of your job, when the job is creating some file, where that file or where the cloned repository will get saved, it always gets saved under the workspace. That's all. Simple, you have to understand.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So under your Jenkins configuration file, that is under /var lib Jenkins, under this path, there is something like a workspace. Under the workspace, you will, whatever the project name which you created, right? Under that, it is going to clone that game of life. Now let us see the one more example of cloning your, right? What is it? Cloning your Spring Pet Clinic. So if you go over here and if you, let me close this. If you go over here and just say Spring Pet Clinic GitHub, see? Now this is the URL. So if you click on this, this is what the URL. Now, one thing you have to always carefully, you have to see it. Whenever you go through any GitHub URL, right? This is a Spring Pet Clinic. It is based off Java plus Spring Boot framework. And whenever you want to clone it, always you have to go and highlight here, right? And then like you need to copy this GitHub URL, right? And also you have to see that which is the default branch here it is using. Can you see the branch is main branch? And all these other are nothing but the feature branch or the sub branches, we can say. So here main is a default branch. So it means that whenever you're cloning it, you have to make sure that, okay, under which branch you're cloning it. Actually. Say, for example, in case of your, what is it, game of life, GitHub. So I'll go to this URL. So what is the branch here? Can you see? It is a master branch, right? So when I created this job, I never gave any branch name here. When I'm cloning it, by default, what it will do that? It will try to clone from the master branch only. Now what I'm doing that, I have to clone this Spring Pet Clinic, right? So what I will do that, guys, I'm going to go here. I'm going to create one more job. So what is that job? I'm going to go say that. So let me go to the dashboard. Let me create one more job, like nothing but I'll give new item. I'll just say, not cloning, Spring. I'll just simply I'll say that's SPC, Spring Pet Clinic. Okay, cloning or else cloning Spring Pet Clinic. Right, this is a project name I will give. Cloning SPC means Spring Pet Clinic. I'll click on the freestyle project. Come down here. I'll just say OK. So in the description, this job is to clone the Spring Pet Clinic project. Now what I can do that, I can directly go to the build step and I can invoke the shell and I can directly give like this, git clone and come over here and just copy this URL, go over here and I can do that. I can do that. No problem. It will work. But I don't want to use this execute shell. Now what I have to do that? Let me do one thing. Let me close this. Let me cancel this. I don't want this. So you can see that whenever you have to delete these things, you have to just say cancel. So it means that you have deleted. You're not using this build step. What I will do that, I will go with the source code management. See the source code management, it is showing two options. One is a none by default and the second is Git. Because you have installed the Git plugin, you are getting this option. If you're not installed the Git plugin, you will not get this option at all. It will not get highlighted. Okay, let me use this. I'll click on this Git. So now what happened? It is asking you provide certain information. What is it? Provide the Git URL or repository URL. So you know that, okay, this is the URL, copy this, go over here and paste the URL, right? And after that, it is asking you for the credentials. It is asking for the credentials because guys, all this project, Game of Life, Spring Pet Clinic, Knob Commerce, Odoo project, there are multiple projects are there which are open source. All those projects are public repository. Those are not private, they're all public repository. Hence, there is no need for you to give you the credentials. Suppose you say that, Rajesh, suppose I have my own project. It is there in my private repository. In that case, you have to give these credentials. How to create the credentials, how to do that, we will be seeing all these things in our upcoming sessions. Right now, I'm cloning the public repository. I need not to provide any kind of a credential here. It is not required for the public repos. Okay, come down. Is there any other thing is required? Yeah, he's saying that actually from which branch you are actually, you want to clone it. So what is it headed? As per this, it is not but the main branch, right? Main. So go over here and just say main. But if you watch it carefully, he's saying that Rajesh branch specifier and he's giving some question mark or something like it is like a help menu. So if you expand it, what he says that, okay, the branch is some name is something like, okay, refs head branch name. Okay. Repo space branch name. Oh, you can even give this way also. So there are different ways are there. Ref, what is it? Ref heads branch name. So actually, guys, what happened now? You could see that /main. This is nothing but your what do you call what do you call /something. It's a globbing character. It means that actually how it understand, right? Means here in this case it is a main branch. We are understand, okay, Rajesh, it's a main branch. But how internally your Jenkins will understand, right? It will try to go to this like this. It will go ref head slash and then it will say main like this. You know it understand. But you instead of giving this complete path, I don't want to do that, guys. I have to just say // like this. Oh, it means that okay, it will in turn understand, okay, // means it is a globbing character. It in turn takes this head, ref's head, and then it will try to check into the main section. Is it clear? Okay, fine. So it means that you are given the main branch, right? So here what happened, right? You are just given a git URL and then credential is not required. Under the branch 2, you have to given from which branch you are actually cloning it. It's a main branch. Come over here. Anything else is required? Nothing, sir. That's all. Just go apply and save it. So if you go to the configure again, and if you see it actually, guys, this is the only thing which I've added. So URL and the main branch. That's all, right? Save this. Now you try to run the build now. So you could see that it is, I think it is already cloned it, right? So you could see that when I executed this command git clone, you could see that it has cloning the repository and it has completely cloned and the job has become success. It has become success. Now, where it has cloned, if you go over here in the workspace, so you are into the workspace. So let me go back to the workspace. cd // ::, you got to the workspace, say ls. Can you see there's a new directory has created cloning SPC? Yeah, cd cloning SPC and the ls. Can you see this is nothing but your Spring Pet Clinic, the entire code actually. So if you go over here, can you make out, guys? See, can you make out? In the same folder, right? What is having, right? The same thing is there over here. Am I clear, sir? So now what has happened, right? Actually, guys, now the thing is that usually in a project, actually, usually what happened in our day-to-day project, what happened, right? Always what the developer will do that first developer will, so he's a developer. So he's a developer. So what the developer will do that developer will write the code in his local system or in his machine. He will write the code actually like this. Once you write the code, what happened? He need to submit this code into some source code versioning tool. So what is the tool he uses? He will be using the tool by name Git. This is a Git server or nothing but your source code versioning. So we call this as a Git server or a Git, or we call it as a version control system, VCSP. So what, so right? So what the user will do that user, as soon as a developer writes a code, he will push the code into your GitHub repository. So once the GitHub done is done, so what you're having that you'll be having one server, which we call it as a CSD tool, which is nothing but your Jenkins server. This is nothing but your Jenkins server. Jenkins server. Or nothing but the CSD pipeline. Right? So what we will do that as part of what the Jenkins will do that Jenkins is going to clone the code. Whatever the code is there in the Git, right? It has to clone it actually. It has to clone it like this. It has to clone it. So your whole code, what is the developer has pushed, that has to be cloned under your Jenkins server. So this is nothing but this is the code, the source code or the code which has been cloned, which has been copied.
Sir, here you are copying the code from GitHub server, right? We require permissions, right? Because of some
We'll do
other
all those. Yeah. See, what we are doing as part of it, we are actually cloning only the public repo. Okay, public repo, what happened? You can directly clone it by using git clone or else by using a UI, right? Whatever I showed right here. Just by doing it, we cloned it. right? If you go to the configure, just you have to give this option. That's all here, like this. This git repository URL, and you need to provide the branch.
Okay, but in this, you are copying the code, right? How do I know whether it is public or not?
So most of the projects are whatever I'm doing, all whatever I'm showing is nothing but all these are public, all these are open source projects. All the open source projects are always they will be uploading in a public repository only. Now what happened, whenever you want to do a private repository, in the private repository, you cannot even view this project also. You don't have a view permission also. So whenever projects which cannot be viewed, even though you view it, so usually in the companies, right, they'll be uploading all the projects under the private repos actually. Can you see the private repo? You cannot see the private repos, because private repo, if you who can watch or who can view the private repo, whoever has been given a permission. In our Git, one of the session in day after tomorrow, like not tomorrow, sorry, tomorrow Saturday, right? I'll be taking a Git day 13 session. I'll be taking there. I'll be showing in the UI how to create a private repo, how to create a public repo. By default, it is a public repo. What you create, whenever you create a private repo, it cannot be viewed by anyone. You need to have, so the user should have a permission so that he can watch or he can clone it actually. He can view, he can edit, he can do anything. He can even do a code submit, fresh submit, everything into the private repo. Is it fine, sir? Any doubts you have?
Sir, even this is your repository, it is showing as public. It is only
No, this is
a.
not. This is not my repository. This is the public repository.
Okay, okay.
Spring Pet Clinic, Spring project. It is not my repository. No, sorry, it's not my repository.
Okay, okay.
Even you can, yeah.
And mostly in the public repository, they will give the permission only for read only, correct?
Right, right. It will be read only. You can clone it. You cannot go and edit it actually. Suppose you are logged into the GitHub and you are a part of the contributor like this. Then you will get an access to do, you can put the code also. By that, but what happened, you need to raise a PR that has to be approved by some of the moderator, and then it will allow you to do a code check-in actually. You can do the code push actually. Right. So there are 98 plus contributors are there for this project. Only these people have they can only do the, they can create a branch, they can do a code check-in, they can do a code pull, code push and all they can do. And finally, they will raise it for a PR review, pull request review. So once it is done, somebody have to approve it so that that code will become permanent as a part of the main branch. Is it clear?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. Now here, so what I was trying to say that actually you have a Jenkins server where what happened, right? You, with the help of a git clone, you're cloning that code and the code will be pulled and will be copied into a Jenkins server. Now what happened, right? What you will do later, you take this code and you need to build that code. It means that you need to create a package out of it or you need to create a binary out of it, right? See, ultimately what happened when you get a code, do you think that you can take directly that code and you can push into the production server? No, right? Or can you give this whole code to the customer, say, okay, this is what the application you asked me, take this code. No, you cannot give that code like that to the customer. What you have to do that, you need to compile it or you need to create a binary out of it or else you have to create a package out of it. So to create a package, to create a binary, right, it is a technology specific. It means that whenever you are creating or whenever you are creating a Java-based project, then what is happening that you have some execution formats are there. Say, for example, like you have an execution format for Java, something like you have a jar file, .jar is there, .var is there, or .er is there. These are the execution formats in Java, right? Now, the thing is that actually, guys, when you get a code which is a Java based, either you need to convert that code into a jar or a var or err. Based on the requirement, you are going to create an execution format. So how you can actually take a code and you need to build or you need to create a repository or you can create an artifact or else you can create a executable file or how you can do it, you can do with the help of a build tool or we call it a build server. So you need to have a build tool. So what you're going to do that, you will be having some build server like this. You'll be having a build server like this. So this is nothing but your build server. Now what you will do that, you will take this code, This code you will take, and what you will do that you are going to do a build out of it, and finally what happened that you are going to create a package out of it. Actually, you are going to create a package. This package, it can be a zip file, or it can be a jar file, or it can be a var file, or it can be an ER file, or whatever the format which you need, right, to deploy it. Finally, it could be in any format. It's left to you. So now what is happening is that how this build server can able to take the Java code, whatever the Java code is going to build out, because you need a build tool you need. So for that, guys, there is a build tool by name Maven. Maven is a build tool. Maven, earlier there was a tool by name Ant, right? Ant was basically, it was developed by the Apache Free Foundation, the organization which created this Ant. Ant has some limitation, right? To overcome that limitation, what they did, right? They came up with the Maven build tool, right? You have something other than Maven, you have something like a Gradle build tool. So guys, as a part of DevOps, so what the DevOps engineer has to do that whenever the DevOps engineer, whenever the DevOps engineer works in any CI/CD tool like Jenkins, GitLab, right, GitHub Actions, any tool he is working on, he has to understand. He has to understand the build process. This is very important. It means that he has to understand. He has to understand. Okay, Java is a tool, or Java is a language. Sorry. So to build any Java language program, so I need to understand about how the Maven works. How Maven works. How Maven works. He has to understand it very well, because right, whenever the developer is writing a code, do you think that a developer, DevOps engineer will go and ask the developer, hey, can you please explain me the whole code? Right? Because as being a DevOps engineer, I'm not really interested about what developer has written the code. I'm not worried about that. Okay, some language is used, so he has used the Java and he has built the application. Finally, I need to take that application. I need to do a build. I need to create a build out of it, or I need to build a package out of it. Oh, for that, Maven is a build tool which is used. I need to understand how exactly this Maven works. Right. Similarly, for example, if the code, whatever the developer has written, if he has written a .NET, if he has used a .NET application, if it has used if it is a .NET based application, then what happens? There is a tool by name MS Build. So you have to use a MS Build tool. So MS Build is a tool which is used to compile or is going to create a package of .NET application. Is it clear? So MS Build is a tool which is used to compile the .NET. Similarly, suppose some developer has used some language like C or C++. They use the C or C++ through C language, they build a code. So now you want to build, or you have to create a package out of, then you have to use a tool by name make tool. You have to learn about the make tool, how the make works, how the make file works. Like that, a DevOps engineer has to know that. So while the develop code wise, I need not to really worry what the code is all about, but I need to understand, okay, how the build tool works, what are the build processes are there, and what are the commands involved with that build tool. I need to understand. At the end of the day, DevOps engineer has to know that, because he will be calling this build tool to create a package, and finally the package will get created, and we'll take that package and we are going to deploy into some target server, onto some environment. Say, for example, there's a dev environment, there's a test environment, there's a staging environment, there's a production environment. We have a servers, application servers. We have to go and we have to deploy that package. Am I clear on this until here? Do you have any doubts? Ashish, Dan, Ganesh, Sandeep, Prasad?
Yes.
Sorry? So what we have to do that as part of it, first we need to clone. So once we write, so it means that, so we use Jenkins to create a CI/CD pipeline, which generally starts from the Git version 2, right? We need to clone the code and start the build process. It means that you need to start the build means basically you need to create a package or a binaries out of it actually. So building a package depends on the language of your application. LANGUAGE, language of the application. Right. So what we're doing as part of our discussion, we are dependent upon some open source project. Say, for example, Pet Clinic, Java Spring Pet Clinic, Game of Life. We are understanding about these are the open source project. Even you can build the application, you can do it, but we are not doing that. We will be depending upon the existing project only, whatever it's available in the internet. Right. We will be doing that like Spring Pet Clinic. Okay. I need to really know about what exactly this project is all about. But I need to understand, okay, this project has been built by using Java technology, and plus it uses the Spring Boot framework, right? So you know that, okay, Rajesh, all these applications, the developers, whenever they are developing any code, they can use any language. They can use a Java, they can use a .NET, they can use a C hash, right? They can use a Node.js, they can use a Python, or they can use any language like C or C++, right? Any language they can use to build the application. Right? And we know that MS Build is a tool which is used to build the .NET application, and Maven is a tool which is used to build the Java-based application or Java plus Spring Boot framework or as Hibernate, any kind of things which is needed by the Java and its dependency, right? You can happily build with the Maven. Maven is also a build tool which has been developed by the same foundation, Apache Free Software Foundation. They only have designed it. Earlier, they had built the Ant tool. Ant has some limitation. One of the biggest limitation was that the all kind of dependencies, what are the dependencies the application requires, Ant was not able to like fulfill the dependencies and all. So that's the reason they came with the next tool was a Maven tool. Maven, whatever you had a limitation in Ant, right? Maven was able to successfully handle all those issues. So even till today also, Maven is the most popular Java-based build tool which is used across the organization. And it's an open source. You need not to pay any money at all. You can just download and you can install it and you can make it. So now if you see it actually, so you will say that, Rajesh, I'm having this Jenkins server. This is my Jenkins server. Okay. This is a very big Jenkins server. And like as per the diagram, what you're saying that, do you need any build server or should I create any new server where I need to install the Maven or the Gradle or MS Build or whatever? Yes, you have to do that actually. So can't we have a same Maven installed in the same Jenkins server? We can do that way also. Or else externally, I can create one more server. That server I can call it as a build server. And then what happened, right? Whenever any jobs comes, the Jenkins server has to trigger the job and it has to give that to the server, to the build server where the Maven is installed. Or either you can install the Maven build tool in the same server where Jenkins is running. Usually what happened in the industry, what happened, right? Jenkins server, you, apart from the Jenkins, no other software you're going to install. It'll only purely has a Jenkins configuration. The whole Jenkins nodes and everything will be running. Whatever you configure tomorrow, like you need to have some like a Git server, right? You will have a separate server where Git is configured. You'll have a separate server where build server is configured. You have a separate server where what happened, right? You need to do some certain other activities. So for example, you need to have do some kind of creating the infrastructure. You need to have something like a Terraform server where the Terraform has to get called. So you'll have a separate server where Terraform is configured. So later what happened with this Jenkins server, you can integrate the Git build server, Git server, you can integrate the build server and other servers you can integrate along with the JS. Integrating, we can do it. But installing all the things in the same server and making it run, that is not a good practice. Am I clear, sir? Till here? Any doubts you have?
No, sir.
Right.
Rajesh, you said, sorry, you said something is not good practice. Can you please repeat yourself? Sorry.
No, what I'm saying means, what I'm trying to tell that here, Dan, right? Having only one single server, configuring the Jenkins in that server, configuring the build also in that same server is not a good practice. Jenkins should be, apart from the Jenkins software, no other software should be installed in the same server. That is what the industry follows actually. In some companies, what happened, right? They will install even, they know very well that they're always building the Java projects only, Java only, because 99% of the project, whatever they're building is a Java-based project. So what they will say, okay, anyhow, I have a very large Jenkins server where, like my Jenkins server is something like T2.2x large, which is having something like 64 GB of RAM memory, right? And 16 or 32 core processor. I'm having such a big server where Jenkins is running. Why I need to have a separate build server? Let me have the same server where I have installed the Maven also. Okay, fine. In that case, what happened? They will also even install the Maven also. Here only what happened? The cloning, building and all happen in the same server. But what happened, as I said, right? It is not a good practice. You need to always keep everything in a distributed way. It means that you should have a Jenkins server, and apart from Jenkins server, whatever the other servers you configure, that should be in a separate VM. It should be in separate virtual machine. It should not be in the same machine. Tomorrow, I'll be having a Terraform. So Terraform also I can integrate in the same server where the Jenkins is running, right? I can even install Terraform and I can call a Terraform script, everything there. But what happened unnecessary? What happened? You are adding on, or you are making it more and more complexity. Right. Tomorrow, if something happens, right, you need to debug many things. You need to even make sure that Terraform is also running in the same server, Jenkins is also running, and even if build server that is also running, everything you have to handle in the same server. So that becomes difficult. So that's not a good way. So instead of it, what happened, right? You can have a separate service. Is it clear, sir? So now, so
Yes.
what we did here, like we had, so that's what, and apart from this Jenkins Spring Pet Clinic, you have many other projects, sir. Say, for example, you have a project by name OpenMRS, Medical Record System, OpenMRS. This is also a Java-based project, actually, right? You have some projects like, for example, NOP Commerce. Actually, NOP Commerce is a .NET based project. It's a .NET language. It's written in .NET project actually, right? And we have one more project, something like Odoo, ODDO, Odoo project actually. That is also a Java-based project, Java-based application project, right? Now, what we will be doing as part of our course on Jenkins, you'll see that I'll be showing you how to do a build, deployment, everything of the Game of Life application, Spring Pet Clinic, OpenMRS, NOP Commerce. These are some of the open source project which I will be referring always in my entire Jenkins series. Even in fact, if I want to teach you, and also I will teach few of the Python based application, which are freely available. I'll take that and I will try to show you how you have to build and deploy the Python based, Node.js based application. So many things we'll be seeing in our upcoming sessions. Okay. So now what you will say that, okay, can we, guys, can we clone this NOP Commerce and see whether you can clone? Yes, let us see. I'll go here and I'll just say NOP Commerce GitHub. Okay, you see that this is a NOP Commerce. So this is a project, and you could see that it is, you have to clone to the develop branch actually, and this is the code actually. So let me copy this, and for this NOP Commerce project, it is. So what is the branch name? What is the branch to which you have to clone it? It is a develop branch, and the Git URL is, this is a Git URL. So what I will do that, I'll just go here. I'll go to my Jenkins, go to my dashboard. I will give a new item. So NOP Commerce, right? It's a .NET based application, right? So freestyle project, come over here. Okay. Go to the description. This is used to clone NOP Commerce project written in .NET, something. .NET. So now I don't want to really run the command. So instead I will use the UI, that is under the source code management. You have this option. I'll go with the Git, and you could see that actually I will be giving the Git URL. And if you come down, credential is not required because it's a public repo. I will, what is under from which branch you're doing? You're doing from the develop branch, right? You can go over here and you can see that it is a develop branch. Same thing I'm doing here, develop branch. Anything else is required? Nothing. Just say apply and save it. And just say build now. So this knob commerce, this whole code, I think it is around 800 MB. If you clone it, you will get a size of 800 MB. So it is a quite a very big source actually. So you could see that it is actually fetching it actually, right? It is fetching the knob commerce git, and you will see that it will take some time because it's a very big code actually, almost like 800 MB code sizes there for this knob commerce. So let's wait, it'll get completed. So you could see that it is checking out, see, got success. So when it got created, you know that Rajesh, you have to go to the workspace. If you come over here and you could see that there is something like a NOP commerce, NOP commerce. See, go to the NOP commerce and say LS. Can you see that? This is the code of your. Clear, guys? Right? If you check the size, NOP commerce, let me check the size. 1.4 GB. See, I was saying 800 MB. 800 MB, it has crossed more than that actually. Because guys, I have a very little disk space, right? 8 GB of disk space, right? Out of, right? See, 4.3 is already been used. Only 2.5 is available, right? It is available. 2.4 is available. So I cannot do a lot of things with this 2.4 GB of the existing disk actually. So what we have to do is either I have to go with a very high server, which is about T2.large, where I'll be getting like 16 GB of your hard disk space. Or what you can do that you can go to the Jenkins and then like you have to delete this folder actually. You have to delete it actually. So how to do that? You have to go and you have to just say delete it actually. See here, if you come over here and if you close here, can you see delete project? Yeah, you have to just delete it. If you delete it, it means that actually you are even removing that content also. So if you do a workspace, can you see the knob commerce? I think it has not removed it, even though you have removed it. It's not yet removed. So you have to go out and you have to manually remove this knob commerce. Now you could see that if I do a disk-h, now I got something like 3 GB. I got actually. Earlier it was right. Now it has feeded some 3.8 GB is available. Okay, with this also I can run my show. So that's the reason what happened in tomorrow's session, upcoming session. I'll be going with a T2.large, a big size server where you need to clone a lot of projects and I need to build it. I need some sufficient hard disk space also it's required. Right? Now, what you are going to do that, you are going to say that, see, whenever you are cloning it, you have to understand that Rajesh, under that project, say for example, cloning SPC, under the cloning SPC, can you see actually that it has cloned it and this is the folder name which has created it. What is it? The folder name. Under this, what happened? It has folded it, right? Now here, what I'm doing that actually that I'm going to let me do one thing. I already have the Spring Pet Clinic under the same project cloning SPC. Let me do one thing. Let me go and edit certain things. I'll go and I will just say configure it. And what I will do that I will do one thing instead of this actually. Let me do one thing. Let me remove this. Okay, I don't want to use this. Okay, and I will go here and I will just under the build step, I'll execute the command. Okay, and or else let me do one thing. I will not. I'll discard this actually. So I'll discard it. Let me create one more project actually. So I'll say new project. So cloning or SPC Spring particularly demo 2. I'll just give like this demo 2 official project and come on down here. I'll just say okay. So what you can do that you can go to the build step, execute shell, just say git clone and give the URL Spring Pet Clinic, copy it Sorry. Now, when you clone it, you will get this folder with this name, Spring Pet Clinic, like this. You'll get a folder. So what you have to do that you have to do CD to that Spring Pet Clinic folder like this with this name. And then, like, if you want to really understand, you need to even execute the Git branch, or you need to even run the Git status. If you want to do a long listing, you can do like this. You can create so many number of steps you can actually create it. Or as what you can do that you can write a script actually, and you can call that script path, the complete script path only, or the script only you can call, so that the script will get executed. So all these are single commands you are executing it, or else you are executing some 10 commands. You can make it under in a single file or a script. You can just call that directly that script. But here what happened, I'm just showing you. So what it does basically, it clone it, and then you are seeding to that path, to this Spring Pet directory, and then you are running some few of the other commands. Can we see it how it works? Save it. I'll just say build now. So it has already executed and a success also. Can you see here? It is doing a clone, and it has do a CD to that Spring Pet Clinic. Here you are executing a Git branch. You could see that it's showing is a main. Yeah, it's correct. You are under, you clone from the main branch only, right? And then like what is happening that you are running a Git status. So it is showing you, right? The branch is up to date with the origin main, nothing to commit like that. Okay. And I'm doing LSFNL. It will show the whole content of your Spring Pet Clinic, right? Now, if you go over here, you know that under the workspace, you got one more folder by name SPC demo 2, right? Right. And you could see that this is nothing but your Spring Pet Clinic folder. You cloned it, and then when you do ls, can you see here? These are the contents of your Spring Pet Clinic. Is it clear, sir? So as a part of it, what you need to do, you have to do two exercises here. So exercise for you. What is exercise for you? Cloning, OpenMRS, and Odo project. Right? You need to clone, and you need to create a project, create a freestyle project, and clone the OpenMRS and Odo project. So Odo, what you will do? It's a simple. You will go to the net and they'll just say Odo, ODDO, GitHub, like this. Right? You have this Odo project, open source, grow your business, right? And you could see that when you're cloning it, you have to give this Git URL, and then like from which branch you're cloning it, 17.0. The same branch name you have to give it, 17.0, and you have to clone it. Is it fine, sir? Is it fine? Shall we go ahead?
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's a simple, right? It's not that difficult, right? So now what you did as when you come to the diagram, so Rajesh, from some repository, you are just cloning it to the Git, and from the Git, you are actually trying to clone to your Jenkins server. That is what you're doing till here. You have not got into the any kind of a build process. Build process has not been started yet, right? We have not yet discussed that one. Yes, Daniel.
Yes,
Dan.
Rajesh. Thank you. So yes, thank you. So you see, for the get into the workspace, right? In the Jenkins, there's a part where you can execute the shell, or you can just do the Git credentials, put in the Git link, right? So the only difference with the execute shell is that you can give it more commands, but then the other one will just clone the repo. That's it. You understand my
Uh,
question?
Dan,
So
I didn't get complete question. Guys, anyone has heard the Dan question? If you can clarify.
okay, let me rephrase it. So maybe fundamentally, right, and practically, what is the difference between using the execute shell or just
Hmm,
doing the normal git clone where you put the
hmm.
git clone URL inside
Right,
the git
right.
plugin
Yeah,
part?
yes.
Like, what is the fundamental thing? I understand that when you use the
Hmm,
execute shell,
hmm,
you can give it like more Linux commands so
Correct.
you can use in other contents. But like in the real world, what is the real difference?
So now
Is
it's a good question, Dan. Because see, Dan, what we have did now as part of our installing the Jenkins, we took this Jenkins. We created a virtual machine which is a Ubuntu, which is a Linux-based machine, and then like we installed the Jenkins on it, right? Right. So it means that it's a Linux-based server where the Jenkins is running. Now, whenever you are creating a project, freestyle project, and when you come into the configure, right, what will happen that here what happened, if you go to the build step, here what happened, you can execute the command with the help of a shell. This is nothing but the bash shell or nothing but the Linux shell, we can say. And we are executing these commands. So what internally it will do that when you're trying to run this job, what it will do that it will literally what the Jenkins user will do. This Jenkins user will do that. This Jenkins user is going to run all these commands one by one.
okay.
Now, if you say that Rajesh, okay, I don't want this Rajesh, I want to go with this Git and I want to give this in a UI. All these things we're going to save it. And then like we are going to save this file and we're going to save it. So you know very well that Dan, right? Whenever you are trying to do anything, whenever you try to add on any changes to the configuration, you know that it is going to create a config.xml file. Yesterday we discussed about this. It creates a config.xml file. Config.xml file. So what it will do that it will try to go to the HPC demo 2. It will go to the workspace or it will go to the jobs. Under jobs, there is a HPC demo 2 is there. Under that, it is going to create this configuration file, config.xml file. So config.xml file, what we did the last job as part of the HPC demo 2. As part of the HPC demo 2, we added all these commands. So what literally has did now, it has created this config.xml file. When you do a run, if you open this file, can you see here? Git clone the Spring predicate, cd to that, git branch, git status, git. Oh, it means that Rajesh, whenever this job is getting executed, when I say run job, when I do a save and apply, when I do a run now, what it will do not, it will refer to this config.xml file, which is there under the jobs folder, So yesterday, I think you have not attended. If you see, if you have understood, under the jobs, what will happen? It will create a folder with the name, whatever the project name which you are giving it. Here, I'm giving the project number in SPC demo 2. With the same folder it will create. Under that, it will generate this config.xml file. So what happened? Literally, what happened? Your Jenkins will be referring to this file. As part of the refer, what you are given in the config.xml file, you say that Rajesh, you need to clone it. There is a command by name git clone. Oh, it will clone it actually. It'll clone it. So when it is cloning, where this clone directory has to get created, or where the clone it has to be created under the workspace. So it'll go inside the workspace, it's going to create with that name, and then like it will clone it, and it will create a directory like this, where all the clone code will be there. So literally, when you are executing any job as the shell, as execute as a shell, like this, or you are configuring through a UI. So what will do the Jenkins server under lower, it will call the Jenkins users to execute the job or to execute the project or job itself. You can do anything, sir. You can either go and configure UI or either you go and do the config. Now you said, Rajesh, now fine, I understood. Now, Rajesh, assume that you have installed the Jenkins server, everything in a Windows. Do you think that you can go here like this configure, and do you think that you can go and call this execute shell? You cannot call the execute shell. In that case, what happened, right? You have to call the execute batch command. Here you have to give that batch Windows command you have to give here. If the Jenkins was configured in your Windows server. Dan, am I clear on this? So there also, even so the Jenkins server is configured in Windows. So if you want to execute in a Windows command line, you need to call a Windows batch command option to call, and you have to give it. Or else I don't want to do that. I want to follow everything to UI. So you can go here and you can give a git UI, git, and you can give everything. So what internet will do that in your Jenkins server, which is in your Windows server, there also Jenkins user will get created, and that Jenkins user is going to refer to the config.xml file under the jobs, and then it's going to run that job. Is it clear, guys? Guys, do you have any doubts? Mahesh sir, did you understood? Dan, did you understood?
Yep.
So what you have to understand very high level, okay, whatever we do, the ultimate at the end, the Jenkins is a user who has to execute that job. When you are creating a job, there is a config.xml will be built up, and that configuration.xml file will be applied when you're trying to run the job. When you try to run a build now, what it will do that it will refer to the config.xml, and then it will run that job actually. So who is going to apply the config.xml? Who's going to run the job? The Jenkins user. Who is a Jenkins user? This is a Jenkins user who will be doing all your work actually at the end. He is a user who will be running all your job. Who am I? He is a Jenkins user who will be doing. That's all. Ganesh, did you understood?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts so far? It's a good question. What Dan has asked is a very good question, because you have to understand, okay, I mean, even though you're using a UI or even though you're doing a command, what is the difference? How exactly will work out? Both are same. Either you do through UI or either through the command line, both are same, guys. It has to do. But ultimately at the end, what happened, right? Okay, when you're doing through a UI or when you're doing through a command line, it means that when you're trying to either do with the execute shell or execute shell or else execute the batch command, anything, whatever you are configuring it actually here, what happened? Ultimately, the Jenkins has to create a config.xml file. That is there. This is very important. Either through you do through UI or either you go and you build a command line, it has to generate this config.xml. And where it is it? Under the jobs, under that, the project name, under that you have a config.xml file. This is what it has to generate, sir. This is what it has to generate.
Rajesh, I got a question, please.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, sir. So thank you. So let's say for the Jenkins, right, there's a Jenkins user, which is like the primary admin, right? So if if you work in an organization and then the admin adds users to use the Jenkins, um, does it mean that the users can also just run jobs like that? Or there'll be a hierarchy like, only one person can run the jobs?
Yeah, so you
Does it
can
make sense?
have you can configure the multiple users also, and you can make it to run. Instead of Jenkins user, you can even call other different users also to run a job. We will see even that also in some time. Did you understand that?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
one thing, because yeah, in my head, sorry, I don't want to steal the time, but in my head, I'm seeing that the Jenkins is just CI and CD, right? So just running the jobs and running Python scripts. So you give more admins or like more users the the chance to run more jobs. That's what basically Jenkins does. Is that it?
Yes, sir. So now what happened? It's all depend upon your hardware configuration, sir. Here, what happened in your Jenkins server? It's a simple T-dot medium. So if you go to the dashboard, you will see that actually you're getting only two executors actually, which will execute these two jobs. So it means that what happened, right? Because it's a two-core CPU, there are two executors are there. Suppose you are having with the 8-core or 16-core CPUs, you will say 16 executors you'll have. So it means that each executor can run one job. Now what happened in tomorrow's time, we will see that, okay, Rajesh, I'm having these two executors, but I'm running 4 jobs. 4 jobs cannot be executed. It means that 2 jobs will be running now, and the other 2 jobs will be in a queue actually. So once this completes, what happens? The other 2 jobs will be picked up actually like that. Suppose if you're having 8 jobs executing on the same executors, two will be running, but the other 6 will be in a queue actually. So in upcoming session, you'll also see that also practically. When I'm parallel running 4-5 jobs, you'll see that it'll show here something like queue, job 1, job 2, job 3. Job 1 is running, job 2, job 3, job 4 is in a queue like that. It'll say. So that's the reason what happened in an organization where multiple projects are built simultaneously by multiple different project teams. By using the same Jenkins server, you need to have a very high configuration. And what we will do that only this Jenkins server itself will not run it actually, guys. What happened, right? You need to have some distributed system where what happened, you will be having multiple agent nodes where your job will not be run by this Jenkins server, it will be run by into that agent node it will be running. So why you are doing, again, you are reducing the load from your Jenkins server. Your Jenkins will just trigger. It acts like your scheduler. That's what. What it will do that, okay, whenever you are triggering any job, what Jenkins server will do that, this Jenkins server will give the job to the node 1, agent node. So that node 1 is going to run that job. One more job is going to initialize, or one more job is given to the Jenkins server. Oh, it will not do. It will try to call a node 2 where some agent is running. Oh, let this job run with the node 2. Let the other third job run in node 3. So it will distribute the jobs among its worker nodes, we say. So that is what we call it as a distributed build system. We'll be learning in our upcoming sessions. That is the heart of it. It means that in interview, they are going to ask you, have you worked on distributed build system? Yes. What is it all about? How do you configure? How do you make sure your Jenkins is going to provide, it is going to give the job to the specific node agent? How the node agent will accept that thing, whether the node agent is a Linux or a Windows or what type of it is actually, okay, how we are going to make sure that always the node will be, there are many things are there which we'll be learning in our distributed build systems. So all these days, only Jenkins servers was running. As things were getting complex and complex in day-to-day activity, more and more projects are getting executed. Now Jenkins will say, no, boss, I cannot run it. I need some kind of node agents I need, or I need some other worker nodes where I can delegate the job to the worker node, where that worker node can execute that task or that job. So it means that Rajesh, do need to have an agent node? Yes, we need to have an agent node. How that it communicates? Oh, it has to communicate through some kind of a passwordless communication. It should happen, right? Right. And whether you need to have some users or common users where it can do. Yeah, you need to have some common users. So here there's a user by name Jenkins there. So in all other agent node, worker node, do you have to have a user by name Jenkins? Yeah, you need to create a user by name Jenkins there. Oh, okay. So then only what happened, the communication will happen from your main master node or the main Jenkins server to the worker nodes or to that agent nodes. Is it clear, Dan?
Yes, Rajesh. Yes, thank you.
So that's very interesting thing. What you asked was rightly correct. So guys, what we have to understand is that actually, like, we need to understand about the build server actually. So how the build server works, how, suppose for example, if you have a Java based application, Java based application has a lot of dependencies. So it has to even resolve a lot of dependencies, right? So it means that it has to download the dependencies and you have to install it and it has to do it. So the build server, the Mammon build server will be doing all those things. Now what happened, as part of our session, I think I'll not be able to cover up now. I'm going to cover at the evening time. What we need to understand, we need to understand something about how the build and the packaging happens, right? How the build and the packaging for any code will happen, will be taken care. This is what you have to learn in our today's evening session. What exactly build and packaging is all about? What are the things which internally the build and packaging does? Say, for example, you have a Maven build. How the Maven build, it's what are the dependencies? How is going to resolve all the dependencies? How the .NET MS build, it's going to resolve any kind of a dependency. If our application needs some extra dependency or the libraries, how it downloads and everything, we have to understand in very high level how exactly the build and packaging is all about. Once we learn this in a very high level, then we'll deep dive into the Maven build tool and we will understand how exactly it can resolve all kind of dependencies. Suppose your Java application, it needs a Spring framework. How it downloads a Spring framework, right? So it means that there is something in the Maven tool, there is something like a pom.xml file. We have to understand about this pom.xml file. We need to understand even about the super pom.xml file. So there are so many things are there which we'll be learning. Pom.xml file. We need to learn about all these things in our upcoming sessions. But in today's evening session, what we're going to see that we are going to see that what is the meaning of build and packaging it, how it can do a build package, and what exactly we're going to get the output from the build and packaging. We need to understand that process actually. You need to understand. Is it fine, guys? So now with that, let us stop it today now, and then we are going to meet again today evening, and we need to understand about. So today's session will be little bit lengthy. I'll be taking around 2 hours of sessions. Where we'll be learning many things about this build and packaging. We'll also get into understanding about what exactly Maven does, how it resolves all kind of dependencies, everything, how it solves it. We will see it in a very high level. Later in tomorrow's session, in our upcoming session, we're going to deep dive only with the Maven build tool today. Right? 2 sessions will be only understanding about how the Maven build tool works, how to install it, and are there any versions of the Maven? Okay, there are some versions are there. Okay, which version I need to use it? Should I use the latest Maven build version, or should I use some older Maven build version? What are those things also we have to understand it, because there it lies actually. Certain projects are built for the specific versions only, so we will be following only particular version of the Maven itself. For certain projects, it can be we can use a very old Maven build tool version also, or you can use the latest also. Like that, you have you can do it actually. So that dependencies and all also we have to understand very carefully. So one thing you have to understand everything, guys, actually. Now, whenever the application developers, he builds the code and he pushes it into a repository. What the DevOps engineer DevOps engineer has to understand, he has to understand, okay, in which language it is written. Okay, it is written in Java. Okay, which version of the Java used? Either he has used a Java 8 or Java 11 or Java 17 or Java 21. He is the developer will give the information. Okay, I have built by using the latest Java 21 version. Okay, for that I need a build server. I need a Maven build tool to be installed and to be set up. So for that, which is the version, or the DevOps engineer has to ask the developer, okay, man, you have built it, you have build it locally in your environment, right? Under the dev environment, right? He will say yes. Which is the Maven build tool? Which is the Maven version you have used? He will say that, hey, man, I've used something like a Maven 3.6.3. This is the version I've used. You will say that, okay, I need to have a same version. So he will try to create a build server and he's going to install the Maven with the same version 3.6. Like this. Suppose you say that, Rajesh, mistakenly, I have created a Maven, but it is 2.6 version. Okay. And he is giving an application which he has built out with the 3.6 version. So whatever the code which has written, right? If your Maven 2.6 is compiling and it is doing no, it might not resolve everything. So there, what happened? There might be a chance where your build might get failed also. So when it failed, when a DevOps engineer analyze it, he will get to know that, okay, whatever the Maven build version which I'm using, right, that is not compatible with the what code the developer has given to me. So what the DevOps engineer will do that, he's going to contact to the developer. He will carefully ask him, okay, what is the Maven which you have used? He will say 3.6.3. Oh, okay. Let me go back here. Let me update from 2.6 to 3.6.3 and then do the cloning and then do a build job. And now it will get success. Did you understood?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So understanding the version, understanding about the build version, the Java application, like OpenJDK version, understanding about the Maven version and all also are very, very important in our day-to-day activity. So does it applies everywhere, Rajesh, even in Python, even with the C++, even with the Node.js, anything? Sir, everywhere you use it, right, sir? Anywhere you use it, you need to use an appropriate build tool with the compatible version only you have to use it. Sometime what happen, it will work on the latest version of that particular build tool. Sometime what happen, it will not work. You have to depend upon some older version only. So whatever the developer using that particular build tool to build it, the same version you have to use it here also in your while setting up the build server. Is it clear? So we have to understand so many things, because it's not only here. You need to have many other things will come up now. You are going to learn about the static code analysis. You need to understand about some of the quality gates. Actually, you need to understand what is the unit test cases. Okay, as part of it, unit test case also get executed. It has to get passed. There are many things are there in our upcoming. After the build server, many other process will happen. We are going to see it. Clear? Fine. So with that, we are going to stop it here, guys. So let me stop the recording.